There comes a time in life when the roles between parents and children start to shift. You spend decades raising them, guiding them, sacrificing for them. But then one day, you realize something has changed. Maybe they ignore your advice. Maybe they dismiss your opinions. Maybe they talk down to you, or worse, they make you feel like a burden, and it hurts. If your children have started treating you with less respect than you deserve, you might feel frustrated, even angry. You might want to remind them of everything you've done for them, of the years you spent putting them first. But here's the truth: getting angry won't fix it. In fact, it often makes things worse. Instead, there's a much more effective way to regain their respect, without fighting, without arguments, and without resentment. Today, I'm going to share 6 things you can do when your children don't respect you. These are powerful shifts, simple changes in the way you respond, that can completely transform the way they see you. Some of these might surprise you, but if you stay until the end, you'll discover how to regain your place as a respected, valued figure in their lives. Now let's get started. Action 1, stop chasing their approval. One of the biggest mistakes parents make, especially as they grow older, is trying too hard to please their children. Maybe you've noticed yourself doing it. You go out of your way to accommodate them. You say yes when you want to say no. You put their needs ahead of your own, hoping that if you just do enough, they'll appreciate you more. But here's the painful truth: the more you chase their approval, the less they respect you. Respect isn't earned through self-sacrifice. It's earned through self-respect. If you're always bending over backward, always giving in, always trying to keep the peace, what you're really teaching them is that your feelings come second. And once they start believing that, it's easy for them to take you for granted. I once knew a woman named Margaret, a strong, independent lady in her younger years. But as she got older, she started letting her children make all the decisions. She rearranged her schedule around their needs, kept her opinions to herself, and even ignored the way they spoke down to her. "I just want to keep the family together," she told me once. But what happened? Her children stopped valuing her. They saw her as someone who would always adjust, always agree, always stay silent. She thought she was keeping the peace, but what she was really doing was losing her voice. If your children don't respect you, the first step isn't to demand it, it's to stop acting like you need it. Set boundaries. Say no when you need to. Speak your mind, even if they don't like what you have to say. Because the moment you start respecting yourself, they'll start seeing you differently. And in time, that respect will come back to you. Action 2, don't argue, lead by example. When your children dismiss your opinions, talk over you, or treat you with disrespect, your first instinct might be to argue, to remind them of everything you've done, to demand that they listen. But let me tell you, something that will save you years of frustration: arguing never works. Think about it. When was the last time you convinced someone to respect you by fighting for it? Respect isn't won through words, it's earned through presence, through the way you carry yourself, through the way you respond when others try to test your patience. If you meet disrespect with anger, all you're doing is confirming what they already believe, that they have power over you. I knew a man named Frank, a retired teacher who had spent his life leading a classroom with confidence. But at home, his grown children had started treating him like an afterthought. They ignored his advice, dismissed his concerns, and sometimes even laughed when he tried to correct them. At first, he argued back, trying to prove he still deserved their respect. But the more he fought, the worse things got. Then one day, Frank made a change. Instead of arguing, he started listening, really listening. He stopped chasing respect with words, and instead carried himself like a man who already had it. He spoke calmly, with wisdom, without the need to win. And slowly, his children started noticing. They saw a man who wasn't desperate for their approval, who didn't need to prove himself, who simply was a figure of strength. If your children don't respect you, don't fight them for it. Show them what respect looks like by the way you treat yourself. Keep your dignity, speak with confidence, and most importantly, never lower yourself to their level. Because when you hold your ground with grace, they will feel it, and in time, they'll follow your lead. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Action 3, withdraw your emotional dependence. One of the hardest lessons to learn as you grow older is that you can't depend on your children for emotional fulfillment. You may love them deeply, and you may want them to love and respect you in return. But the moment they sense that you need them to feel valued, the power in the relationship shifts. Here's the reality, people, even your own children. Respect those who are emotionally independent. When you rely on them for validation, affection, or attention, it puts pressure on them. And instead of feeling grateful, they start feeling burdened. They might pull away. They might start treating you with impatience or even irritation. And the more you chase their love, the less freely they give it. I once knew a woman named Helen. She was a kind-hearted mother who had given everything to her children. As they grew older and got busy with their own lives, she found herself waiting by the phone, hoping they'd call. When they didn't, she called them instead, often, too often. She reminded them how much she missed them, how she wished they would visit more. But instead of bringing them closer, it pushed them away. They started seeing her calls as an obligation instead of something they looked forward to. Then one day, Helen did something different. She stopped waiting. She stopped calling first. Instead, she started focusing on herself, picking up new hobbies, going out with friends, taking care of her own happiness. And something surprising happened. Her children started calling more. They started respecting her time, seeing her as someone with a full life of her own. The lesson is simple. The less you depend on your children to make you feel needed, the more they will start valuing your presence. When you show them that you can stand strong on your own, they will start respecting you, not out of obligation, but because they genuinely admire the life you've built for yourself. Action 4, set boundaries and enforce them. One of the biggest reasons children lose respect for their parents is because the parents let them. If you allow your children to talk to you disrespectfully, dismiss your opinions, or treat you as if your time and feelings don't matter, they will keep doing it. Not because they are bad people, but because people, especially family, will always treat you the way you allow them to. Setting boundaries doesn't mean cutting off your children or creating conflict. It means calmly and firmly deciding what kind of behavior you will and will not accept. And more importantly, it means enforcing those boundaries when they are crossed. I remember a man named Robert, a retired businessman who had spent his life running a company with discipline and confidence. But when it came to his adult children, he struggled. They interrupted him when he spoke, dismissed his concerns, and even criticized the way he lived his life. At first, he tolerated it. He told himself it wasn't worth the fight. But over time, he realized that every time he stayed silent, he was teaching them that their behavior was acceptable. So one day, Robert changed his approach. When his son interrupted him, he calmly said, "I'll continue speaking when you're ready to listen." When his daughter dismissed his opinion, he simply replied, "You don't have to agree with me, but I expect you to respect me." And when they continued to push his limits, he made it clear if they couldn't treat him with basic respect, he wouldn't be spending time with them. And you know what happened? They started listening. At first they resisted, but over time, they realized their father wasn't backing down. They saw that he valued himself enough to demand respect. And because of that, they started giving it to him. If your children don't respect you, it's time to ask yourself, are you allowing it? Because if you don't set boundaries, they won't set them for you. And if you don't stand up for yourself, no one else will. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Action 5, stop giving without appreciation. One of the quickest ways to lose respect is to keep giving to people who don't appreciate it. And as parents, we do this more often than we realize. We give our time, our energy, our support, even when it's not acknowledged, even when it's taken for granted, even when we're met with nothing but entitlement. But here's the truth. When you give to someone who doesn't appreciate it, you don't build love. You don't build respect. You build expectation. They stop seeing your kindness as something valuable and start seeing it as something they are entitled to. And the moment you stop, they don't feel grateful. They feel inconvenienced. I once knew a man named George, a father who had always been generous with his children. He helped them financially whenever they needed it, dropped everything to assist them, and even rearranged his life to accommodate their needs. But instead of gratitude, he was met with complaints. They didn't say thank you. They expected more. And the worst part, when he finally needed their help, they were too busy. Then one day, George made a change. He stopped overextending himself. He stopped offering help before it was even asked. And most importantly, he started saying no when he needed to. At first, his children were frustrated. They didn't understand why he wasn't bending over backward for them anymore. But over time, something shifted. They started valuing his time. They started appreciating his efforts, because suddenly they realized that his generosity wasn't unlimited. It was a gift, not a guarantee. If you feel like your children don't respect your time, your effort, or your kindness, take a step back. Ask yourself, are you giving more than you should? And if so, what would happen if you stopped? Because when you teach people that your generosity is conditional on respect, they will start treating it that way. Action 6, build a life outside of them. One of the most powerful ways to regain your children's respect is to show them that your happiness doesn't revolve around them. As parents, it's natural to devote ourselves to our children, to make them the center of our lives. But as we get older, that dynamic shifts. And if you've spent your entire life prioritizing them, they may start seeing you as someone who has nothing else going on. People respect those who have their own purpose, their own interests, their own sense of fulfillment. And if your children see that you rely on them for entertainment, validation, or meaning, they might start feeling suffocated, or worse, they might start seeing you as someone who has no life of their own. I knew a woman named Eleanor, a widow in her late 70s. After her husband passed, she poured everything into her children's lives, checking in constantly, giving advice they didn't ask for, expecting them to fill the space that her husband once did. But instead of drawing them closer, it pushed them away. They visited less, their calls became shorter, and Eleanor felt more alone than ever. Then she made a choice. She joined a book club. She started traveling with friends. She volunteered at a local community center. She stopped making her children the center of her world, and something incredible happened. Her children started reaching out more. They were curious about what she was doing. They admired her independence. They respected her. If your children don't respect you, ask yourself, do they see you as someone with a full, meaningful life? Or do they see you as someone waiting around for their attention? Because when you show them that you are living, not just existing, they will start seeing you in a completely different light. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Final thoughts. Respect is not something you can demand from your children. It's something you inspire through the way you carry yourself, through the way you set boundaries, and through the way you live your life. If they have started treating you with less care, less consideration, or less respect, don't waste your energy getting angry. Instead, shift your approach. Stop chasing their approval, because the less you need it, the more they'll give it. Lead by example, because your dignity speaks louder than your words. Withdraw your emotional dependence, because the more self-sufficient you are, the more they'll respect your presence. Set boundaries, because people will only treat you as well as you require them to. Stop giving without appreciation, because when generosity is taken for granted, it loses its value. And most importantly, build a life outside of them, because people respect those who have their own purpose, their own joy, and their own sense of fulfillment. If you do these things, something incredible will happen. Your children will start seeing you in a different light, not as someone waiting for their attention, but as someone who commands respect simply by being who they are. And in time, that respect will come back to you, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have you ever wondered whether traveling after 70 is still a good idea? While seeing new places and experiencing different cultures can be exciting, there are serious risks that many seniors don't consider until they're already facing them. As we get older, our bodies and minds go through changes that can make travel more exhausting, unpredictable, and even dangerous. And while some people assume they can keep up the same pace they did in their younger years, the reality is that after 70, travel presents unique challenges that can turn a dream vacation into a stressful, even life-threatening ordeal. In this video, we're going to reveal 5 important reasons why traveling after 70 can be risky, from unexpected health emergencies to the hidden financial pitfalls. That can drain your savings. Each point will help you understand the challenges seniors face when they travel. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of why travel at this stage in life requires extra caution and what you can do to stay safe if you still choose to take a trip. Stay with me until the end, because the last reason on our list is one that many seniors never think about. Yet it's one of the most common ways people lose money, time, and peace of mind while traveling. Now let's get started. Number 1, increased health risks and medical emergencies. One of the biggest concerns when traveling after 70 is the increased risk of sudden health issues. As we age, our bodies become more unpredictable, and conditions like heart disease, high blood pressure, and respiratory problems can turn into emergencies when we least expect them. While at home, it's easy to get medical care quickly, but when you're traveling, especially in an unfamiliar place or a foreign country, getting the right treatment can be much more complicated. A minor health issue that could have been handled easily at home can quickly become a serious, even life-threatening situation when you're far from your regular doctor. For many seniors, the risk of a medical emergency isn't just theoretical, it's very real. Long flights can increase the risk of blood clots, also known as deep vein thrombosis. High altitudes can put strain on the heart and lungs, especially for those with pre-existing conditions. And even something as simple as dehydration or heat exhaustion can hit much harder in an unfamiliar climate. Seniors are also more prone to infections, which means exposure to new bacteria and viruses in different locations can lead to unexpected illnesses. Consider the story of James, a 74-year-old who had always loved traveling. He planned a 2-week cruise with his wife, thinking it would be a relaxing way to see new places without too much physical strain. But on the 4th day of the trip, he started experiencing severe chest pain. The ship's medical staff provided basic care, but he needed a hospital fast. Because they were in the middle of the ocean, he had to wait for an emergency evacuation to the nearest port, delaying treatment by hours. Fortunately, he survived, but the experience left him shaken. What was supposed to be a dream vacation became a terrifying ordeal, one that he later admitted could have been avoided had he considered the risks more carefully. Medical insurance is another major issue. Many seniors assume that their regular health coverage will apply wherever they go, only to find out too late that they aren't covered for medical treatment in another country. Without the right travel insurance, hospital visits, emergency surgeries, and even basic medications can result in massive out-of-pocket costs. Some seniors end up paying thousands of dollars just to get the care they need while abroad. So what can be done? If you're over 70 and considering travel, be sure to check with your doctor first. Get a full health assessment, discuss any potential risks, and make sure you have all necessary medications with you. Always research the healthcare system in your destination, and if traveling abroad, ensure you have comprehensive travel insurance that covers emergency evacuations and hospital stays. Because when it comes to health, being prepared can make all the difference between a smooth trip and a disaster. Staying healthy is one of the most important aspects of enjoying life after 70. But while medical risks are a major concern, they aren't the only reason travel can be dangerous. Number 2, increased exposure to infections and contaminants. One of the most overlooked dangers of traveling after 70 is the increased exposure to germs, viruses, and foodborne illnesses. Crowded airports, packed airplanes, public transportation, and unfamiliar restaurants all create an environment where bacteria and viruses thrive. For younger travelers, a minor cold or stomach bug might be a temporary inconvenience, but for seniors, these infections can lead to severe complications, hospitalizations, or even long-term health setbacks. A single trip can expose an older adult to more illnesses than they would typically encounter in months at home, and in some cases, the immune system just isn't strong enough to fight them off. As we age, our immune system naturally weakens, making it harder to recover from infections. Respiratory illnesses in particular pose a significant risk to older adults. Studies have shown that seniors are more likely to develop complications from flu, pneumonia, and even common colds, especially when exposed to new strains in different parts of the world. Airplanes in particular are a breeding ground for germs. Passengers are often packed closely together, breathing in recycled air for hours at a time. And since people from all over the world pass through airports daily, it's easy to encounter viruses that your body has never been exposed to before. Then there's the issue of food and water safety. Many travelers are excited to try new foods in different countries. But for seniors, unfamiliar ingredients, spices, and cooking methods can lead to digestive distress. Foodborne illnesses like norovirus, E. coli, and salmonella can hit older adults much harder, leading to prolonged illness, dehydration, and a severely weakened immune system. And while locals may have built immunity to certain bacteria in their water supply, travelers often don't have the same protection. Something as simple as drinking tap water or eating a salad washed in local water can lead to serious stomach infections. Public restrooms, hotel rooms, and rental cars are other places where germs linger. Many people assume that because a place looks clean, it's safe, but surfaces like doorknobs, seatbelts, and tray tables are rarely disinfected as thoroughly as they should be. Seniors who rely on mobility aids like canes or walkers are at even greater risk since they frequently touch public surfaces for balance. So how can seniors protect themselves? If travel is unavoidable, taking extra precautions is essential. Wearing a mask in crowded areas, washing hands frequently, and carrying hand sanitizer can help reduce the risk of picking up harmful germs. Only drinking bottled or filtered water, avoiding raw foods in unfamiliar places, and sticking to well-cooked meals can help prevent foodborne illnesses. And for those traveling internationally, getting recommended vaccines and carrying essential medications for stomach issues or respiratory infections is a must. Staying healthy while traveling is possible, but it requires vigilance, preparation, and a strong immune system. However, health risks aren't the only concern. There's one more reason why traveling after 70 can be more of a burden than a joy. And it's something that can impact not just your health, but also your finances and peace of mind. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, travel fatigue and recovery challenges. Traveling may seem exciting, but for seniors over 70, the physical toll can be far greater than expected. Long flights, early check-ins, unpredictable schedules, and hours of walking can lead to exhaustion that is difficult to recover from. Unlike in younger years, where a good night's sleep could recharge the body, older adults often find that fatigue lingers for days or even weeks after a trip. And when the body is tired, everything else suffers. Immune function weakens, coordination worsens, and the risk of illness or injury skyrockets. One of the biggest issues seniors face while traveling is disrupted sleep. Sleeping in an unfamiliar bed, dealing with noisy hotels, or adjusting to different time zones can make it nearly impossible to get proper rest. Sleep deprivation isn't just about feeling tired. It affects mental sharpness, weakens the immune system, and even increases the risk of heart problems. Studies have shown that seniors who travel across multiple time zones often take longer to adjust, meaning jet lag can last much longer than expected. This lingering exhaustion can turn an otherwise enjoyable trip into a miserable experience, leaving travelers drained instead of rejuvenated. Then there's the issue of physical strain. Sitting for long periods on a plane, bus, or train can lead to stiff muscles, swollen joints, and an increased risk of blood clots. For seniors with arthritis or circulation issues, extended travel times can cause discomfort that lasts long after the trip is over. And even once you arrive at your destination, the physical demands of sightseeing, carrying luggage, and keeping up with scheduled activities can quickly become overwhelming. What starts as an exciting vacation can quickly turn into a struggle just to keep up. Consider the case of Richard, a 75-year-old man who had always loved traveling. After retirement, he and his wife planned a 2-week vacation overseas, assuming it would be just as enjoyable as their trips in earlier years. But after a 10-hour flight, navigating a crowded airport, and adjusting to a 6-hour time difference, Richard felt exhausted before the trip had even begun. By the second day, he had trouble walking long distances, struggled to stay alert during tours, and found himself needing frequent breaks. By the time he adjusted, it was almost time to head back home, and he spent the following weeks recovering from the trip instead of enjoying his memories. Another challenge seniors face is maintaining their usual diet and hydration levels. Many destinations have unfamiliar foods that can cause digestive issues, and staying hydrated while on the move is often overlooked. Dehydration alone can lead to fatigue, dizziness, and confusion, making even simple activities feel like a struggle. Combined with poor sleep and physical strain, it's easy to see why many seniors feel worse after a trip rather than refreshed. So what's the solution? If travel is unavoidable, seniors should plan plenty of rest days, Stay hydrated and avoid overloading their schedule with back-to-back activities. Taking shorter flights with layovers to move around, packing nutritious snacks, and making time for naps can also help reduce exhaustion. But most importantly, recognizing personal limits and adjusting travel plans accordingly is crucial, because a vacation should be enjoyable, not something that takes weeks to recover from. The physical toll of travel is a serious concern for seniors, but it's not the only hidden danger. Number 4, higher risk of falls and injuries. One of the biggest dangers of traveling after 70 is the increased risk of falls and injuries. As we age, our balance, reflexes, and bone density naturally decline, making us more vulnerable to accidents. And while a minor stumble in your own home might not seem like a big deal, a fall while traveling, especially in an unfamiliar place, can lead to broken bones, serious hospital stays, or even permanent mobility issues. The reality is, a single fall can change the course of a senior's life, turning what was meant to be a relaxing trip into a painful and costly ordeal. Many seniors don't realize just how different travel environments can be from what they're used to. Hotels, cruise ships, and historic sites often have uneven floors, poorly lit staircases, or slippery surfaces that make falling more likely. Some destinations have little to no accessibility accommodations, meaning simple activities like stepping onto a bus or walking on cobblestone streets can become unexpected hazards. And in many places, emergency medical services aren't as fast or advanced as they are back home, meaning even a minor injury can take longer to treat, increasing the risk of complications. Take the case of Linda, a 78-year-old woman who had always dreamed of visiting Europe. She was in great shape for her age and walked regularly in her neighborhood without any problems. But when she arrived in Italy and started navigating the steep, uneven streets, she quickly realized it wasn't as easy as she thought. One evening, as she stepped off a curb in a dimly lit alley, she lost her footing and fell hard, breaking her hip. She was rushed to a local hospital where doctors told her she needed surgery. Not only did she have to cut her trip short, but she also spent months in recovery after returning home. What was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime turned into an experience she wished she had never taken. Another major factor is fatigue. Traveling often involves long days, irregular meal schedules, and disrupted sleep patterns, all of which can affect balance and coordination. When the body is tired, reaction times slow down, making a misstep or stumble more likely. And for seniors with arthritis or joint pain, long walks through airports, train stations, or tourist sites can cause swelling and discomfort, increasing the risk of a sudden loss of stability. So how can seniors reduce the risk? If travel is necessary, choosing destinations with good accessibility, avoiding high-risk areas with uneven terrain, and always using proper footwear can help. Walking sticks, supportive shoes, and staying well-rested can also make a big difference. And above all, recognizing personal limitations is key, because no trip is worth sacrificing your long-term mobility and independence. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, travel insurance and financial risks. One of the most unexpected dangers of traveling after 70 isn't just about health, it's about the financial risks that come with it. Many seniors assume that if they run into a problem while traveling, they can simply rely on their insurance or personal savings. But the reality is that travel-related medical emergencies, trip cancellations, and even financial scams can drain a person's bank account faster than they realize. For many seniors, a single unexpected event can turn a well-planned trip into a financial nightmare, leaving them with overwhelming expenses and stress. One of the biggest financial risks is medical care abroad. Many seniors don't realize that their regular health insurance often doesn't cover treatment in foreign countries. This means that if you fall ill or get injured while traveling, you could be responsible for thousands of dollars in medical bills. Even in countries where healthcare is more affordable, emergency medical evacuations, such as being airlifted to a proper hospital, can cost tens of thousands of dollars. Without the right travel insurance, seniors could find themselves in a situation where they either pay an enormous bill out of pocket or go without the care they need. Then there's the issue of trip cancellations. Many seniors book trips months in advance, assuming they'll be in good health when the time comes. But life is unpredictable. Health conditions can arise suddenly, requiring a trip to be postponed or canceled altogether. Unfortunately, many airlines, hotels, and cruise lines have strict policies that don't allow refunds for last-minute cancellations, meaning seniors can lose thousands of dollars if they have to change their plans. Without proper trip insurance, recovering that money can be nearly impossible. Beyond medical costs and cancellations, there's another serious financial risk: scams and fraud. Seniors are often targeted by scammers who prey on travelers, using tactics like fake taxi services, overcharging for simple goods, or even elaborate schemes designed to steal credit card information. Many scammers specifically look for older adults who seem unfamiliar with their surroundings, knowing that they are less likely to notice a scam happening in real time. And in some cases, criminals take advantage of seniors by offering fraudulent vacation deals that turn out to be nothing but an expensive trap. Consider the case of George, a 76-year-old man who had always been careful with his money. He booked a dream vacation to a tropical island, making sure to save up for every part of the trip. But when he arrived, he realized the hotel he booked didn't exist. He had fallen for an online scam, and by the time he figured it out, his money was gone. With nowhere to stay, he had to scramble to find another hotel, paying double what he had budgeted just to have a place to sleep. What should have been a relaxing trip became a stressful financial mess that followed him home. So how can seniors protect themselves? First, always check if your health insurance covers international travel, and if it doesn't, invest in a solid travel insurance plan that includes medical emergencies and trip cancellations. Second, when booking a trip, use only reputable companies and avoid deals that seem too good to be true. And third, be extra cautious with your money while traveling. Avoid carrying large amounts of cash. Be mindful of who has access to your credit card information, and never trust strangers with personal financial details. While travel can be exciting, these financial risks make it clear that after 70, extra caution is required. The unexpected costs, the possibility of losing money due to scams, and the sheer unpredictability of health emergencies make travel a gamble that not every senior is prepared to take. But does this mean you should never travel again? Not necessarily. Final thoughts. We've just explored 5 major reasons why traveling after 70 comes with serious risks. Risks that many seniors don't consider until they're facing them firsthand. From unexpected health emergencies to injuries, exhaustion, infections, and financial pitfalls. Each of these challenges can turn what should be a relaxing vacation into an overwhelming, even dangerous experience. While travel may seem like an exciting way to spend retirement, the reality is that after a certain age, it requires much more planning, caution, and awareness than it did in younger years. But does that mean seniors should never travel? Not necessarily. It just means that for those over 70, the way they approach travel has to change. Instead of exhausting long-haul flights, stressful tours, and risky destinations, it may be better to choose closer, safer options that don't put as much strain on the body. Exploring local attractions, taking shorter trips, or focusing on destinations that provide easy access to medical care can make a huge difference in safety and enjoyment. Travel should enhance life, not create new problems that linger long after the trip is over. If you or a loved one is considering travel after 70, take a moment to really think about the potential challenges. Is your health stable enough to handle the trip? Do you have the right travel insurance to protect against financial risks? Have you chosen a destination that is safe and accessible for your needs? These questions may not seem exciting to ask, but answering them honestly could prevent unnecessary stress and hardship down the road. At the end of the day, longevity isn't just about adding years to life. It's about making sure those years are lived with quality, independence, and peace of mind. If avoiding unnecessary travel means staying healthier and safer, then it's worth reconsidering the risk before booking that next flight. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.